Hey guys, it's Angelo, and welcome to my kill analysis of Star Augur Etraeus on Mythic difficulty. In this video, I will analyze what went well in my kill as well as what did not. I will walk through each of the 4 phases with you, sharing some interesting insights and elaborating on some of my gameplay, for you to gain some knowledge of course. If you enjoy this type of video, please be sure to let me know so that I can make more of these for different bosses in the future. Now, of course, without any further ado, let's go right ahead and have a look. First off, let's discuss my talents. For this fight, I ran Legacy of the Void, along with Power Infusion, Sand Lane, and Lingering Insanity. Twist of Fate is also of great importance here, as your main focus should be on executing the boss in Phase 4 as fast as possible. But I will get to that. My gear is insane currently, and I ran this fight with 23% haste and 90% mastery. I used my erratic metronome in order to ease void form transitions and to snapshot some strong void torrents, and Fury of the Burning Sky for of course extra mastery, and because as I am wearing it on item level 920, the single target DPS increase of it is actually very significant compared to the other options that I had at hand. Phase 1 starts off as you would expect it to. Nothing really happens here yet, and I start the fight off with a regular opener. I make sure that I move as less as possible and try to continue my regular rotation to the best of my ability. Real mechanics in this fight actually really start in Phase 2, so again, nothing really happens here yet. In Phase 2, I become more aware of my surroundings, and I need to be sure that I'm not standing too close to other players in order to keep the Grand Conjunction as organized as possible, and in order to keep everyone safe during the icy ejection. An important thing to note here is that you see me stutter stepping, which is a fancy definition of course for minimizing movement to only occur in between global cooldowns. This becomes very important if you want to maximize your DPS in this phase, especially because you have to make your way to the middle of the room in order to counter the Frigid Nova. Here, you see me starting to move closer to the rest of the group around 6 seconds prior to the ability, in order to make it in time while moving only within the global cooldowns I had mentioned before. After the Frigid Nova has happened, I actually hurry up back into the position I was previously in because I drop out of Void Form anyway, so not much DPS would really be gained if I stutter step my way back. I try and maintain this playstyle for all of Phase 2, until finally we reach Phase 3. Our kill try actually goes really clean up to Phase 4, and you see me doing a really good job in Phase 3 dealing with the mechanics. I am sure to move the fell ejection step by step in order to halfway overlap them before moving to the side. Even when our main tank came pretty close to me while clearing the fell ejections on the floor, I made sure to keep my movement to a minimum, which, as you can probably tell by now, is key to maximizing your DPS in fights like these. Fortunately for us, the Grand Conjunctions go incredibly well all the way through this phase, which definitely took a few wipes, but on top of that, I am relatively lucky with my Conjunctions as I only had 1 or maybe 2 throughout this entire phase. Phase 4 is where things start to become messy, and where I actually made a huge mistake, but fortunately had luck on my side. The phase starts off like it normally does. We group up in the middle and prepare for the first big eye spawn, which channels a beam that needs to be dodged. In our raid, I'm the person that calls the beam on TeamSpeak, and therefore I am responsible for calling the marked position we run to once the beam comes. This goes well for the first beam, and I say that we move to the red marker, which is the entrance. The ad now spawns here, and I make a target switch onto it in order to kill it as soon as possible, obviously, as this is very important. I turn around for Witness the Void, and switch back to boss for a bit, before switching right back to the ad during the Grand Conjunction. Once again, I am very lucky and don't get marked by one, so I can continue my damage. I keep track of the next eye, and this is at purple, and everything works as planned. No one really dies, and we all make it out happily. The next eye, however, is where I make a huge mistake. I see the eye spawn and call that we are going to green. However, I quickly realize that we can just stay at the entrance and be safe there as well, so I tell everyone to stay at the entrance, which is marked red. This, however, creates a problem. As I was already on the way to green myself and didn't have enough time left to return to red without dying, well, this made me go to green. Fortunately, the raid is smart, listens to my final call and stays at red, while I, unfortunately, am again now at green, all alone. You can see that this is a big deal because I was now not in range of our Spirit Link totem or any healing in general, which actually should have been placed here but wasn't. And could have potentially wiped us through that fail itself, because if I wouldn't have been in that Spirit Link, if it would have been there, that meant potentially that our max HP would not have been shared as greatly as it could have. Through luck, however, and through good healers, I was almost at max HP, therefore being able to survive the Void Nova and witness the Void. At this point, I know that there isn't much time left and that I should focus the boss, as the ad is near death. So that is exactly what I do. I take the risk in the position that I am standing in, far away from the raid, and begin tunneling the boss. I get marked with the last Grand Conjunction, but luckily it falls onto Rhymes, one of our DKs, who is right in front of me with the same mark. We're able to run together, clear it, and almost simultaneously, finally, kill the boss. And there you have it, guys. That concludes my kill analysis of Star Augur Etraeus on Mythic difficulty. I hope you enjoyed this analysis, and again, if you'd like to see more of these in the future, please be sure to let me know. Thank you, as always. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more of my content in the future, feel free to subscribe. Now have a good one, my friends, and I will see you all in the next one.
Lifetime in repeat.